let's go ahead and get into map one, shall we? We're going to send it over to your casters, making their Champion Soul debut. It's my boys, Doug and Baby Bay.
Thanks so much, Handsome. We've got a banger of a match for you guys teed up right now. Dre, there isn't a ton of story between these two teams, but when you think about the individual path that they've taken to get here, it's vastly different. FPX seems like they're on the up and up. Meanwhile, Sentinels feel like they're on like a tragic tumble.
Yeah, I mean, they started off great in the year, and then it was just like a slow burn where they slowly just faded and faded. And FPX, yeah, you're 100% right. They've looked great, especially internationally, taking Heretics the distance, not only in Shanghai, but here as well in Seoul. So this is going to be a banger match so far. And honestly, this Chamber, Autumn, he was so good with the operator.
Wait, give me a second, bro.
Last time around, so expect big things out of this guy.
I need to fix my
mic.
mic.
On the move. Look at that aggressive line he's taking.
Super aggressive, trying to get ahead of that.
Okay, nice.
But poised so far from Sentinels.
With Berlin over his shoulder, he creeps up further and further. A couple of warning shots. Takes a quick step back. Meanwhile, Sentinels, as you mentioned, on the attack side of this opening best of three, a bit of a more tempered approach.
Yeah, and I think they understand that, you know, FPX's history on the defensive sides of almost every single map have been a weakness for them. So if they don't drop early like that and give FPX an inch, they might be able to get a big lead here.
Seems like Saucy's making a little bit of noise here. He's dropped the Hunt, he's dropped the Prowler, a lot of noise B, but it's actually the first kill going the way of FPX towards A.
You can't do anything about that.
No, not at all. Berlin still causing problems. Hasn't taken a lick of damage. Now he's taking a step back, but Autumn is on the prowl. He's on the flank. He's behind him.
Ooh.
As Berlin once again, one bullet, one kill.
Ooh.
All members of Sentinel starting to crumble, starting to fall apart. This pistol seems to be going the way of the defense. I mean, they're completely surrounded, Dre. They've got every single corner with threat. FPX gets the first.
Absolutely constricted into U-Haul and Short A that entire round. Autumn, he showed U-Haul
udah dimajuin kayak gitu.
Said, flanked around Showers, but it was Berlin who was the difference maker, spamming through the smoke in the beginning. He smelled something fishy in the waters. Something was amuck. Look at that. As soon as that Viper wall comes up, he's just spamming to hopefully get that lurk, and he does it. And this flank from Autumn, I mean, this is the power of the Chamber. And already, you're going to see that he has an outlaw in the mix of things.
Ini mapnya FPX.
That weapon could be so deadly in the right hands, and he was looking very good on the operator, so I imagine he's going to be hitting some nice shots here. And for Sentinels, yeah, it's been rough. It's been kind of disastrous, right? They haven't won a map in what, how long?
It's been over a month. They're 0-6 on their last 3 series. Their last map win was against Cloud9 back in like
Aku berharap Zekan panas aja match ini. Tolong dah.
It's just been such a fall from grace, and it seems like that's just a story for Sentinels, right? Like they get to Madrid, that's their peak, then they turn their attention toward trying to qualify for Shanghai. Obviously, they don't make it. On the other side of Shanghai, they're looking really good, like 5-0 or 4-0, something like that through stage 2, and then again, we're back on this downward trajectory.
Yeah. It's been super rough for them, and this start has been super rough as well, but let's see what they can do. It's some faint pressure right now from 10s towards B long. No one to reciprocate from the side of FPX.
And again, I think a lot of discipline out from FPX. You're absolutely right.
I mean, you said it, right? You said when you watched FPX play against Heretics, you said I think they figured out their defensive sides.
It seemed like it, yeah.
And so far, I like the way that they're taking this approach, not taking too many risks.
Prowler's out. It's going to push Life off the line with a Guardian. But he's just able to take just a little bit of a step back to reinforce position. Now with heals being dug in, they're going to have to deal with what Sentinels are doing. Zekin and Tens are getting a
dua-dua tukar. Tapi kalah weapon doang.
John QT and Zelsis, the only 2 that remain. Yeah, they got the spike down. I mean, Zelsis has a molly. John has a spit. There might be a shot at this.
Tidak aeronya jadi mahal gitu loh.
Super tough. I mean, that molly does delay for quite a bit, but that Omen Paranoia was too strong. Ayung cleans it up.
Dapat plan, dapat 2.
A very nice approach from Sentinels. Getting the spike plan and getting damage done. Could have definitely been worse for wear for them.
Yeah, for sure. That could have gone infinitely worse. But I mean, I do think
you're right.
Paranoia as soon as they tried to retake control of Showers, and that was really all they needed. And yes, there were a couple of nice shots out from Sentinels, but the utility at the end and the numbers advantage that side had was just too much.
What the heck?
Most definitely. And that approach from Sentinels was so slow. Uh-oh. Already.
We didn't make it very far.
Well, I mean, while we're in this tech pause, I can talk about that slow approach that Sentinels just did.
Take your time, because life is reclined on the stage right now. So, I mean, be as verbose as you want. We're paid by the word, so by all means, take your time.
If only that was true, Doug. If only that was true. We'd be millionaires up here right now. But yeah, that slow approach from Sentinels, it was definitely a cool thing to see, and it allowed them to just put doubt in the minds of FPX and the way that they approached the site, putting 2 smokes down and then actually getting those kills in back sight. That's something that's really hard to do when you have just a classic. So now in future rounds, they can be confident in that fight back sight.
And we'll see how that continues to play out. I think you mentioned, oh, we're right back into the action. Nice, that wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully a good sign of things to come. You mentioned the slow approach from Sentinels, but I want to go back to what we were talking about in the previous round, and yes, it's only been 2, but I really like how disciplined FPX have been off of the feints that Sentinels has tried showing.
Yeah, they're definitely trying their hardest to not give away any freebies. That's been the demise of them in the past.
Yeah, orb scooped up early in the round. And again, silence across the map.
Yeah, it's so quiet. Only an omen
Bentar.
being used. Orb was gathered, though, from life. Pretty good. It will be a contact play here in B-Long. Second will be the forefront, along with Tens, the 1-2 punch.
Got to be cautious here. An outlaw, and then you've got 3 rifles, and then just a sheriff. So if FPX are able to convert this bonus, this snowball would be huge.
Yeah, this would be massive, and it would be so detrimental to Sen, who I feel like are such a team that is based off of momentum.
Young's moving. He's on the hunt. Saucy looked like he was
Kok disuruh login ulang, aku mau ngechat di web.
Right there. Maybe looking at the mini map, but it's a walk down. Oh my
What
goodness!
the fuck?
What in the world was that? That was so fast.
Nasty
Wah,
stuff.
hilang
A lot
dua
of
orang.
players there just go for the double outlaw, but the
Yeah.
switch to the headhunter, it's instantaneous.
I had bad flashbacks of like the chamber meta.
Oh, 100%.
And so now Sentinels off of that, it seemed like they made a little bit of noise. A, again, trying to threaten the opposite side of the map, but now quick rotate back B. You've got Lysor who's here. You still have a trip that's currently down, but the wall goes up. Utility through. Zekin trying to find some space off the satchel. 13 seconds left. They're going to have to get there very quickly. Lysor's going to get another. I don't know that there's a way for John to do this. There's no time.
It's done. I mean, all off of the back of Autumn. What a monster. Solo walk. I mean, forget it. You don't need a trip when you already take out 2 players.
I think Autumn did a lot of damage at the beginning of the round, but I think Lysor's got to have his praises sung there. He was on the site by himself, if I'm not mistaken, was able to deal with Zekin satcheling out. He got a spit kill with the other one. I don't even remember who it was on, but this is very dangerous for Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, losing the bonus, it's a terrible feeling. But somehow, FPX just take it away, and Sentinels, they will have another
Itu
buy.
bisa dapat
I mean,
3 dia tadi tuh.
Crazy. But yeah, so there is another buy right now from Sentinels. Very interesting. 3 Bulldogs on the field. And an ult play, that's why.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of this round. The success of the round is being hinged upon whether or not they can find value with the Thrash. Ayang's been detained, tries jumping around to save his life, and cannot. As Zekin gets 2 on the round. They've got the site. They should be able to get the spike down.
And that's upgrades now,
Nice.
too. No one here to thwart the plant. Lil bro will get it, that spike planted.
Spike planted.
It's going to be a late flank from Autumn. Does the rest of the members of FPX try to go first here? Try to make a distraction, allow him to find a timing?
Yeah, with his ult, maybe. That's a tough thing you're going to have to deal with. Tens is holding the line, too.
Nice.
Wow.
Zekin's got 3 on the round. Lysor had no shot there. And what do you do in a situation like that? Autumn on the second swing will not find success. Life's doing his best to keep this round going their way, and he cannot. Sentinels
Dapat
were along
1,
board.
okay.
Saucy in the middle of that retake.
Gila,
Just jumps out for Zekin
dilompatin
to get
gitu aja.
freebies. And Tens as well in the beginning of that round, that Thrash, it got value. It hit a guy in Cubby the entire time, so that was the cue to just speed up A short. And that's why they forced into the round. All of a sudden they're right back into this thing, building up their own
Di
economy.
situ omennya.
And very important kills for Zekin to start getting some momentum. He had a very rough series against Genji.
Yeah, he did. I think
He was sitting at the bottom.
it was like -17 across both maps. Just something very uncharacteristic. honestly, I mean, we've got Autumn with the op online. He's holding a deep angle down B long, but all of the noise, all of the firepower is towards A.
Yeah, showstopper used as well. He's going to pop over the truck. Doesn't see anybody.
No, there's a lot of respect and a lot of space being given from FPX right now. It's really nice. They're starting to dance around this push and pull of dealing with the aggression, dealing with the firepower of Sentinels while also maintaining the space.
Right now, Autumn, he's so worried that there could be somebody in showers, but there's nobody there. Sentinels are playing all A short, all market area.
Again, the op will be a difficult thing to try to retake around it. The spike has been going off for a little while here. That Dizzy tagged, what, 3?
Haunt doesn't quite connect on anybody there.
If they can't alleviate some of the shower U-Haul pressure, it's going to be a problem. There's still one there. Tens.
Nice.
Beautiful timing. Ion's left to his own devices. And there's no way you survive in a situation like that.
And this is a different type of Sen. This is the old Sen that we know to dominate. They look so decisive, so much more confident.
Let's go, let's
they look
go.
more comfortable. I think
Nothing
that's the
to
best word
lose.
I can say. They tried mixing up their compositions in the last, couple matches they played, and it just didn't go their way. Yeah, they had a little success on Lotus with the deadlock, But on this map, the last time Sen played, they were running a deadlock solo smoke brim. It's so hard to play, especially on the defensive side, when you only have brim smokes on the field. So easy to bait out. So I really like this change going back to
Time out, bro.
that 100 Thieves composition, the double initiator.
Tinggal tadi
Second
kalah
is
bonus
the type of
nggak
duelist
time
that
out.
requires teammates to help him throw utility for him to entry. This is why you saw Zekken struggle so hard on Ascent. There was no flashes for him besides Omen.
He does seem to be notably more comfortable, as the rest of the Sentinel squad does too, as you were talking about just a few moments ago. And I think as we see FPX call a timeout here early on in the first half, a lot of what we were just talking about around how Zekken he struggled tremendously against Gen G. I want to be careful because I don't think that was the reason why they lost. I think there were a lot of things that were going on that unfortunately didn't go their way. I think you look back at the last 3 matches that they've played, they've had one player go positive every single time.
Yeah.
So you've got one guy who's kind of treading water, kind of trying to stay afloat, while the rest of them are really struggling. And yeah, Zekken is unfortunately the most recent example of that.
Yeah.
But it has really been tough sledding for Sentinels these last couple of matches across the board.
But it looks like they finally got their foot in the door here, bringing it within 1 round with a start that was looking really dominant from FPX.
Ya harus menang nih
I
ban
don't
ini.
think FPX was ready for that force buy from Sentinels.
Main cepat aja udah.
Crash.
Gak apa-apa
That was
aku
such a
nonton
big
sebentar
call.
doang. Next match apa
Worked
ya?
out.
So risky.
Lower juga kan?
Take a look at the purchase for FPX here. 2 rifles
Lower group apa ya?
and a couple of sheriffs. Heavy lean towards A. Again, Lysaurus being asked and being called upon to hold B on his own.
Yeah, these last couple rounds that Sen have won, FPX have had a stack on the wrong site. Lysaur should call for his team now that this will be a hookah crunch.
They're trapped in there. There's no real easy way out. Reinforcements have to arrive. I mean, they have the superior weaponry, and there they go.
Whoa.
All of the other
TP
guns
satu lagi,
arriving
Bang.
at just the right time.
Di TP. Udah mati yang di dalam
Barring
TP
a
tadi.
kill from Autumn, this will be a flawless round from Sentinels to tie us up at 3. And I think we talked just a couple of rounds ago about the snowball that could potentially be forming on the side of FPX. Look at it for Sentinels now. They've got money forever. They've got Tens' ult that's back online. He had it, what, 3
2
rounds?
rounds, yeah.
3 rounds ago. Sasi's got his ult online as well.
Zalsis is building up towards that Brim ultimate as well, getting the spike planter right there. He might even just go for the kill here.
Yeah.
They're going to use info to try to find out where Autumn is and feed the kill to Zalsis. That's why you see him treading. He goes. Even if he dies, he still gets it. So that's a W for Zalsis.
It's now 3 ults that they're going to have,
Yeah.
while Autumn's going to do his best to hang on to this rifle.
Yeah, he wants to keep this one for sure.
Question is, does he expect Sasi around the corner? No, he doesn't. 3 on the round for the initiators. We're tied at 3 apiece, and I think we talked a little bit about how FPX looked very comfortable. They looked aggressive at the beginning. You think about that showers push that happened from Autumn on the pistol and a couple of other things like that. Sentinels they've seemed to have figured out how to deal with that so far.
Yeah, they haven't been getting punished early on. This time, their executes are way more decisive, maybe because of the supporting utility that they have, the ultimates most notably.
Sure.
I mean, those can give you a lot of confidence running into sight. And Saucy, he's such a good LAN player, man. When it comes to champs, when it comes to these big moments, he always shows up. So much experience.
I want to mention very quickly, Autumn has another op online. I think this is the second or third time we haven't seen any value with it. Meanwhile, the dump onto A is ridiculous. You've got the Nightfall, you've got the Orbital Strike, you've got everything thrown towards the
Tower.
site.
Anjay.
Ultimately fall as well.
Let's go, man.
I mean, we're what, 20 seconds into the round and it's done.
I mean,
it's a save.
Yeah, it was the same set play that Tens did previously with that Thrash, but this time there's follow-up, right? The Fade ultimate, the Brim ultimate, they got cooked to a crisp. It was a barbecue.
There's just
Let's go,
no
man.
way to hold on to the site when you have that much being thrown at you.
Kemarin mainnya kayak takut-takut
that's the power of
banget.
this
Dah kesel aku
composition.
nontonnya. Ya
Right?
Allah.
There's so much utility once the execute actually comes through.
Sure.
FPX, they did a good job in the first 3 rounds of kind of dealing with that. But I mean, on pistol rounds, you don't really have the full amount that you want for the side of Sentinels, so FPX didn't really have to.
Suruh Raja
feel all
cari.
that power.
Raja nggak ada
But now that they
ulti.
feel it, I mean, Zelsis just felt something. A little bit of a headache there, huh?
Zekin did too.
I mean, they have to save this operator, but it's going to be a full hunt. Yeah, he's so clean with the op.
Duitnya
He
pada
5
banyak.
kills in the
Pada
last
nyari
series
semua.
against Heretics, and they
Untuk cari
stole
ulti
that map.
juga.
We just saw him get 2, and again, if my memory serves me right, those are the only 2 he's had all map.
Yeah, he's had some outlaw kills, but
There's that hit again.
yeah, that's obnoxious. The Fade ultimate into the Raise nade. The Brim ult wasn't even required, but
Yeah.
why not, you know?
Adding insult to injury.
So the snowball's still in full effect for Sentinels right now.
Light armor across the board for the defensive side. I mean, Ion's ult is online. Lysor's 1 tip away from his. And again, this intention on holding down Belong with the op. There is a little bit more presence here, though. Zalsis is close by.
What a shot.
Wah,
An
kena
elbow is
tangan.
all it took.
Yeah, that first jiggle.
And then, honestly, that was such a bold swing out from Autumn, too. He was past the point of his TP at that point.
I mean, you got to make something happen, right, with that operator. Him just sitting back in passive angles was not working for them in the last couple of rounds.
Wah.
Picks across the board right now.
This is tough, man. This shows the
Padahal
attack
dia
is
udah
such
lewat
a
tadi tuh.
If
Gak
you're not
kedetek
finding
sama yang
success on either
omennya.
side of the map, you're thrown into plan C, plan D of your approach.
And you have no smokes on the field right now. Berlin
One
took a
enemy
little bit to
remaining.
get there, but he gets the kill. Life, he might get a 3rd into this round. But it's
Gente,
Berlin to
bro.
clean it all up. And that's off the back of that aggression from Autumn's operator. I mean, worst case scenario, Autumn there, like he peeks there, no one's there. He has all the info for his team. They're able to cheat over towards the A site. So I like him stepping past the TP. You have such an advantage when you're peeking riflers with an op. And you got to play to it.
Lysor was close by 2, if I remember correctly, so even if he does, for some reason, not win that, there's a chance for the op to get picked up and then, you know, kind of reset on the round. But now it's on Sentinels to try to slow things down. They're going to burn their first time out of the map and see what sort of adjustments are there. I mean, again, Autumn should have that op online going into the next, but for Sentinels here, we've seen them put up 4 in a row. Finally, a little bit of the bleeding has been stopped, and FPX seem to have a little bit more momentum their way. But Dre, I'd love to get your thoughts, because that felt like that worked because of picks on opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and it was on both controllers as well.
Yeah.
So the change for the change for Sen will probably just be, okay, let's use utility this time and just take control of either Showers or take control of Belong with utility to find out if the operator's there, because he's gonna TP away. Like when you playing against a chamber, you want to use utility to find out where he's at and just push him back, make him use that rechargeable. And then in that window of time, that 30-second frame that you have, you can come up with a plan and formulate if you want to hit on the chamber while he doesn't have any mobility and any TP to get an escape or what.
Let's go.
Also, this timeout was mainly to ice FPX. You know, Sentinels, they won 4 in a row and they just got stopped with picks, like you said. Okay,
Gila,
it's fine.
cakep banget.
Let's use utility. Don't get first blooded, and just run into an execute. The executes of Sentinels have been unstoppable so far.
Yeah, when they've had the ults that they can kind of put together, it's been devastating. Quick note here, Autumn has repositioned. This time trying to hold the line on A short.
We saw him take the same pathing on the pistol round, and he did meet Zelsis here.
Tahu lawannya. Tahu Sentinel.
He's going to have a lot more to deal with here. Berlin is with him. They just had a Prowler clear out Showers.
There it is. Push him back, and now you can overwhelm.
If they want to commit to it. And it seems like that's exactly what they're going to do. What a shot out from Autumn. staying alive through the decay and through the damage and aggressively checking into another.
I mean, an absolute
Kelihatan loh.
madman, and he gets punished for it,
Apa
though.
asal aja tuh.
Zelsis not falling for any of those shenanigans.
Oh, as things slow down, all members from FPX rotating back towards A. And Sentinels have cut noise.
And only one smoke to work with, and they decide to smoke off U-Haul, and that might be detrimental to them.
Yeah, almost getting punished up from heaven. That second smoke causing a little bit of problems. As Berlin still had an angle to play around. Look at the health bars on the members of Sentinels. They're so weak.
Yeah. But Tens, he picked up that operator. He might be able to work something with this, work some magic. Some of that
30
Tens
seconds
magic.
Sumpah
This is
kebe deh.
interesting too. They gives them passive
Tadi
power
tak dapat
because
info ya,
doesn't
3
wanna
di
flip
sini
the
ya.
map, but hanging on for now. 20 seconds left in the round. A little bit of presence in U-Haul. You've got Zelsis who's starting to creep forward. Fretting on the plant. That's not the right one. Time is running short. That shot will connect, but with 10 seconds left, how much more can you do? Can you buy enough time
Kan?
for the spike to go down? No.
Tahu infonya 3 di situ
Too
loh.
many angles to look at.
Tak mau cabut.
FPX, they basically steal that one away. That was insane though from Autumn and Short. The fact that he even got 1 kill there. I mean, the poise that you have to have when all that utility is being smothered onto you, and to still just be in the zone like this. I mean, he's tethered. I mean, it's chaos on the screen. That is not an easy thing to do by any means.
No.
A lot of players crumble in that moment.
Yeah, to ignore all of the noise
Oh,
and
man.
to stay focused. I mean, we can have the same
Kebuka
conversation
settingan,
about
pantasan dia diam tadi
seconds
habis
he went,
nembak.
back into the next round we go. A pit already invested down belong.
And the whole purpose of this is to kind of force Sen to do what you want. They want them to lean towards either that hookah area or go towards that 3-man fighting squad at A.
Yeah, and that 3-man fighting squad that you were just talking about had taken a lot of space down showers. It seemed like they wanted to try to fight there early on. They don't meet a threat, but you can see what the intention is for FPX early on.
And it's so hard for Sentinels to entry into these sites knowing that you have to go against these operators.
What the fuck?
Holding down showers on his own. A 2 for 1, you'll take that any day.
He almost got 3.
Zelsis was able to see that smoke come, but oh my gosh, iYoung and Berlin.
Wah, kalah aim.
Little in and out, and it's Tens
Pada
all
jelek
alone.
banget timingnya.
This round and the last couple of rounds, to be honest, this Tens is, as you mentioned, 1v4 or borderline unwinnable one. The crazy thing about that too, very quickly, we went into that round, FPX had 5 ults. They just obliterated Sentinels without having to invest just one. They invested life source at the beginning, but that was it.
Yeah. The ult economy has been insane for FPX, and when you're Sentinels, when you see a team has 5 ultimates, that's why you saw that slow approach in the previous round where like they're just tapping the spike consistently. They're trying to see and bait out any type of thing. But FPX, they just held on to him. I mean, they're not going to use him unless you force them to.
They might try to go fast here. They've got a lot of presence towards A short. Zekin has bought a stinger, and he has his ult online.
You've seen Autumn in these moments, though. Oh, he's going to get punished this time.
What the fuck?
It went right past them. What a shot from Autumn. Again, delivering. Very similar hit to what we saw before. The orbital strike not finding the kill under Berlin. Takes a little bit of damage, yes, but repositions. And now Life has gone full reconnaissance.
And he saw every single member.
Miss Rocketnya, bah.
Space on the flank. This is so nice from Life.
The problem is he's the only one playing contain here. And it seems like Sentinels are intent on rotating away.
Yeah, they're anticipating this, like a push-down hookah or something of the sort. But are they anticipating this deep of a push? All the way down B-long by the fountain.
I mean, neither side is making any noise.
Oh,
that flash.
But he's
and
out.
it's a TP away. But it's just enough misdirection. Look at the pings on the minimap now.
Yeah.
Like we heard him. He's got to be around. Where is he?
It's so scary. It's a horror game.
1 lawan 3, 1 lawan 4. Satu orang doang reset.
30 seconds left.
Most definitely. It's all up to Life here. I don't know if he can anchor this alone. Oh, he might find a timing. Oh, he gets spotted.
Again, the only smoke has been invested. The flash is so pretty. Life gets another 2.
Lalu tukar 2 sama 1. Anjing.
Ultimate.
Jelek banget.
He was alone.
Tens wasn't ready for that. I don't think they heard that at all.
I mean, Berlin TP'd into that. You're absolutely right. He was so far ahead of everything else. Now Celsius is left in a 1v3, able to find the first. The peek onto the second will not connect. The defuse comes through as FPX will get another.
Just absolute madmen in the server. Life, he's all alone on site. Has a nice flash lineup for himself. John QT gets caught out in the open. But the second follow-up, how are they getting away with this? The trades, the spacing is just not quite there. It's almost like Sentinels are just lining up for these guys. And look at this. Somebody needs to come out earlier there and help John.
Dude, the rocket. I mean, you can see the frustration on Zekken's face there. The rocket just humming right past Autumn.
That ultimate, it can be so hard to land sometimes. And even when you think it lands. Yeah, and even when you think it lands, it might not even kill fully.
Last round of the half, you see it on the timeline. The rounds have come in bunches. For the wave Sentinels, FPX responding with a bit of their own. And the chamber ult used right at the very beginning. Berlin with Goop in face has to take a step back. This is so bold.
Oh, what a punish.
So reckless. Life with 3 on the round, and Berlin cleans it up. Again, man. How many does this guy have?
The 3K spray down? I would love to get a replay on that. That was absurd.
Surely we're going to get a look at it again. Life has just been ridiculous these last couple of rounds. Again, an 8-4 half the way of FPX. You can take a look at these highlights.
Bisa dapat 3 di situ.
A little bit longer. We'll be right back.
Gak ada yang ke flash loh. Nice try.
Oh, come on.
Undying Pro. Undying Pro. Jelek betik namanya. Ada lagu Spotify-ku yang nggak kena copyright itu ya. Udah kecampian digendong Leviathan. Di sini bikin kecewa. Aduh. Ayo dong, Sen. Dead 1 kerja keras, dapat poin banyak. Tapi di sini malah bikin kecewa. Kita balik lawan FPX. Nyata. Kalau lawan Genji balik gak apa-apa, tapi aku tetap gak pengen balik.
See if that is any different going into this round. As we head into the pistol, you've got 4 classics in light armor on the side of FPX. Meanwhile, full ghosts for Sentinels.
Full ghost anjing, tumben banget. Gak ada yang pistol.
It's interesting.
The death ball approach for sure.
Yeah, take a look at Zekken's position. He was for the longest. I mean, he's still back in spawn, waiting for any noise, waiting to be as reactive as he can be, as quickly as he can be, because this is very decisive out from FPX.
Oh, what a fade eye!
It was perfect. John's getting all 9. Zekken on the swing out, trying to find a little bit more as Ayang has crept back sight. Him
nice, dapat 2 John.
In tandem, just pushing their way forward, trying to blow over Sentinels, and it's Autumn who cleans things up. Seconds left alone. He's trying to tuck down 22 HP. Is someone over the top? He's got
Woo!
behind him. Zekin with the 3K in the round for Sentinels.
Unreal from the kid. I thought when he ran out of CT alone, he would get punished for it. But no, he just cleans it up. Sneaks right behind. Right here is when I thought it was going to be wraps. But just sneaking by.
Yang di spawn malah rata anjir.
Autumn.
One enemy remaining.
Poor guy's been having such a good game, but just didn't guess right this time around. He went for the jumping classic. Yeah, he knows he got away with murder right there.
Yeah, he did.
Biwa na
But
pistol
honestly, I
yata.
mean, you mentioned Autumn.
Jarang banget sih tidak ada pistol ya Allah.
On the round, if I'm not mistaken, with a little
Yeah.
pixel angle.
It was
over tuna. It was nice.
It was a very cool strat. I mean, that's why they bought the classics. They isolated, cut the sight in half. The classics were good in all those fights, all that close range.
Just not good enough to get him over the board. So Sentinels win the second half pistol. No investment on the side of FPX.
Yeah, not too crazy of an investment for the side of Sentinels either. You have 2 Spectres, a Stinger. Yeah, you have an Outlaw and a Bulldog, but I mean, going into the next round, you don't really have much to work with, I feel like. Great molly.
Very nice indeed. Autumn just continues to
He's
find
unreal.
success, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he keeps getting away with it.
Just chamber things, man.
One enemy remaining.
And so, a weapon upgraded for Berlin, who's now got the Bulldog in hand and left in a 1v3.
Oh, he's getting ran at.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
No room is safe.
Ah,
Zelsis with the
Okay.
spray and pray Stinger. Intuition was on point. He's had a lot of smoke spam kills
yuk
so
menang
far.
bonus yuk, menang bonus.
Map.
Sumpah, entah dari mana gitu, Tens dapat 3 atau Zekin dapat 3.
This kid is so insane.
We're in it. Let's go, boys.
They are in it now with that. I mean, only 2-round difference here.
Yeah.
And
From the Vibes Merchant himself.
and you know how I was talking about how it was a light investment in the previous round? Look at this now. You got 2 Phantoms, one on Zekin, one on Zelsis.
And the Bulldog and the Outlaw.
And it's aggression too.
They've got something to work with here. Sentinels
Tuh,
very
kalau
far up the
ditembak
short.
tadi meninggal.
That Fade Eye. Been really impressed so far from
Mhm.
Saucy using some of these lineups that he's had. I mean, that pistol round 1, that was really big. This time around, he gets info on market area. And Sen decided to back off, re-clear showers. But Autumn, he waited that out, and it's going to be a little bit of a battle here. Could have been.
Meanwhile, you saw Life grab that ult orb towards Belong. I think that's going to be a key part of how they try to
Itu
approach these later
Tens
rounds on the
nge-pick itu
attack.
kan?
Mhm.
Enggak ya?
Have Life go in,
Oh,
create as much
Vanguard.
havoc as possible, get info. There's so many ways you can play around a Yoru ult.
Yeah, and his kit in general. He left a clone there, and they're actually going to lean back towards A, I believe, and use that clone as a feint for the hit.
Yeah, look
This
at
is
where
some
the spike is.
very cool stuff.
There's a lot of presence here. I mean, oftentimes you see a fake and it's 1 or 2 members, but I think they can send it and then they go through TP, they
Yep.
head back towards showers.
Yep, and the problem here is if Autumn doesn't win this 1v1, it gets thwarted.
Dapat 1.
That's exactly what happened. So now they, what, do they try to reinvest back towards B?
I think they have to full commit. The spike is all the way up base short. Saucy, he's just going to delay right now.
Things have been thrown into disarray. I thought Life was going to try to get out.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a spike. That's a problem.
Down A.
He's so smart.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Dre. If that kill goes the way of FPX and Showers, they have so many things at their
Cakep, bro.
disposal.
Yeah.
But that goes down, you've lost Showers control, and then the spike is in this awkward, like, well, do I go up A? Do I TP back B? Are you guys going to come to us?
Yep.
What's the play?
Gitu dong,
And
menang
I get
bonus
it. I know
anjir.
Autumn's feeling
Ambil
himself
tuh
right now.
weapon
He wants to take that 1v1.
Yeah,
But
sure.
there's no downside to just waiting, holding an off angle, and waiting for your squad to come up and run in with you and get the trade instantly. So a little bit of a mistake there, maybe just getting a little bit too overconfident in that moment. Because yeah, as soon as he drops right here alone, I mean,
Lawan
that's a
chamber
very
dia.
risky peak to take.
Yeah. On an off angle like that, too, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
that's tough to win. It doesn't really matter who you are.
I mean, you just
Aku lebih
wait for
suka
your
Sassy
team.
pakai
The
Vandal
worst case
daripada
scenario is
Phantom
you
kan.
trade, and then you have the site for free. But the setup on the
Phantom mainnya
strat was
pring.
really nice from FPX. The execution just wasn't quite there.
Vandalnya the
Great
best.
job from Sentinels to clean that one up. Ooh,
Oh, you're in
get
trouble.
broken. What's going on right
You
now?
gotta get
Life?
out of there. Zekin's not able to stay alive, but the trading out from Tens is nice. Life now down. Ayang has a rifle.
Taking every single timing possible. Look at this.
Yeah.
All the way through. In spot. Oh, Celsius.
Nice.
He read him like a book somehow. That's so rough.
Yeah, very clean shots. Berlin wasn't able to do anything there. You know, we saw this a lot when FPX played against Heretics. They invest into Ion. It doesn't really matter who it is that has the hot hand or what it is that's going on. If there's a hero rifle, be it the Guardian or the Vandal, whatever it is, it often goes into his hands, and that's the case here. There are 2 members out.
Wih, orang B lama banget, mati dah dia.
Close by. If he gets cleaned up, that's an open sight. Stays alive so far. The Molly to buy a little bit of time as 2 reinforcements. Again, the 2 remaining members of Sentinels trying to get over as quickly as they can.
Down A.
1 for 1. There's not a lot of time. He's going to have to win those out on his own, and he cannot. We're tied at
Lama
8.
banget orang B, ngapain dah?
Cleaning it up there. Fade ultimate online and available. Nice stuff from Sentinels to weather the storm. That was that quick showers and short A push. Zelsis, he is on point right now with his intuition. The fact that he turns around in time for both those scenarios. I mean, he almost gets caught right there by Autumn.
Yeah.
But Autumn just couldn't settle the shots.
Yeah.
And then the Phantom pre-fire spray. That's the advantage of using the Phantom in scenarios like this. And that's why you see him vibing up there.
You know, we talked about it in the arrival interviews. We talked about it when they walked out on stage. We even saw it when we saw a couple of members of Sentinels backstage before they even walked out onto the stage. For a team that's facing elimination in the biggest tournament of the entire year, they seem really relaxed. They seem very, like, just comfortable and chill.
And they need to be that way, and they need to be confident. And this is the scary time right now for FPX, because a confident Sentinels, I mean, that's not a team you want to play against. They can be Titans. We've seen it.
Yeah.
They can be Titans.
They will destroy you.
Well, I think on the other side, you know, to play devil's advocate here a little bit, you talk about a team that is look confident. I look towards FPX, man. You think they have tried setting the pace from the very first round of the map too. So it really just feels like it's like just who's gonna lean into the confidence a little bit more.
Yeah. And not be too overconfident as well, right?
Yeah, not like go too far.
It's this fine line that you always have to tread.
Let's go.
It's a good sign for Sentinels fans out there that they're playing in this way, because I feel like you watch the last couple of matches, you know, they really haven't had that same spark, that same, you know, motivation. Even in the reactions of the players, it's looked very serious, like you said. Now they look a lot more loose, and I mean, considering the scope that Sentinels as an organization are under by themselves, right? It's a lot of pressure that amounts onto you. Being lighthearted can be a way to weather that.
Yeah, alleviate a little bit of it. You see Autumn's ult online. Heavy lean towards B. There's no showers presence. There's no A presence at all. Now we're going to see live salt for the first time.
3 members here, though, from Sentinels.
That knife ult's really good. That's going to tag a lot of members. Berlin's already dead.
Yeah, free spam kill.
I mean, Life went out to get info, but his teammates crumbled around him.
Yeah. I mean, no chance, really. Just spam across the board.
I mean, look at where the spike is. It's out. There's no way for them to recover it.
Nice.
Center looking so good right now.
Majuin John.
This also feels like a plan that was
Oh,
poorly
chamber
executed
anjir.
on the side of FPX.
I mean, sometimes it's just rough. I mean, Jordan Zelsis, he's had so many smoke kills so far. Oh, what a shot. Oh, he almost connected onto that one. The 10s.
Nice.
He'll clean it up along
Dia
with
kan ada
the
ulti,
one-two punch.
dan ada ulti, Zelsis
But
ada
yeah,
ulti.
Zelsis, I mean, if we have a smoke kill counter on this map, he's had at least, I swear it's like half of his kills.
Yeah, he's gonna
7 kills at least.
I'd love to take a look at that round again. I mean, we'll see.
Look at this.
We'll see some of the plays.
Oh, okay, that was just...
Or some of the kills, excuse me. But, you know, so Life goes out with his ult, tries to get a little bit of info on site. As soon as an iPhone comes out, we saw Berlin TP forward.
Yeah, that was...
And he was the one who had the spike and just dies out in the middle of the site. And from that point forward, there was really no way for any sort of Octagon presence to come out onto the site. The spike was in no man's land, and that's where it really felt like the round fell apart.
Yeah, I didn't catch that TP from Berlin. That was so insane. I mean, that was so risky.
And you see where the risk did not pay off in this instance. Autumn, again, a hot hand, but man, is it gone cold.
Jeez. The contact approach from FPX, it hasn't been working. They need to just do an
Pikir
execute
tertidur
at some point in
tense
this
tadi
half.
tuh. Soalnya udah
Right
nampak
to the
pundak
spike line,
keduluan.
at least.
But you gotta think about it though, Dre. It feels like, you know, we think about FPX and the crazy year that they've had. I want to take us back to Shanghai. One of the things that people were so excited about was how FPX played their attacking side, particularly how they played the entire map.
Yeah, with all the smokes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right, there were double pump fakes, there were triple pump fakes. I mean, they played everything so beautifully on the attack side. And yes, there was some like heavy exec rounds, but that didn't really feel like their DNA.
Yeah, this contact style has just not been working for them.
Aduh, megangnya
I
Phantom.
mean, look, another just
Spike down.
dry walk into the crosshairs that are trained on them from Sentinel.
And Zekin's able to tuck back in and stay alive.
Aduh,
Pops back out with his ult. Not gonna connect on
Rosa.
This delay is just so difficult to navigate. I mean, they've barely made it out of short at this point. They haven't really gotten,
Ada
the ball. They
Sechel
haven't
bang.
really gotten a ton of space at all.
And if you look at the ultimates, there's still so many online and available for Sentinels. Look at that. Life is done.
He's cooked. He was tethered, fried. He's done.
Another barbecue. Sentinels are definitely at the cookout. And Tens, he didn't even have to use that thrash. He has that available for another
Kenapa
retake if he
ulti
wants
miss
an
ya?
aggressive play, but they don't really need to do anything. Them just holding off
Ulti
things has
paling
been a huge
gampang di
success.
game itu
Look at this,
menurutku
2
ya,
off
menurut
angle
si
kills,
Cupu
and then
ya.
what, it's 5v3, you have full confidence in your squad of the retake. I mean, Tether right there, Life can't escape, even if he wanted to.
No, I even think about that off angle that Saucy was holding a couple of rounds ago in showers.
Yeah.
Right, when the intent was to go back and hit back towards A. It really has felt like that's been their success this whole time. I mean, look at the timeline. That's 6 rounds in a row.
It's obnoxious.
It's just been so dominant on this side.
This Sentinels roster, once they get going, it's impossible. It feels so smothering.
Apa kata?
The adjustment here
It
after
feels so
FPX, I was
mothering.
talking about how they like to put the hero rifle in the hands of Ayang. This time it's in Autumn's.
Kok gitu dah?
Oh, proactivity with the thrash, but a great bait.
Tele dia.
That's really nice.
Tens had some backup there from John to pick up that thrash
Nggak
again
kena ya?
for the next hit. It's just a cycle of utility right now from both sides. All of Hookah just got cleared out. That's why you see them taking space. It's John QT and Saucy.
Ayo push aja itu yang dibuka, keluarin satu.
I wonder if this is all to crunch. If players go Hookah, they'll send that thrash through the TP. As I say that, it's going to be a B long hit though.
Paranoia goes out, Life goes forward. They have a lot of space here.
Yeah.
The thing is, they haven't dealt with the Hookah presence that you were mentioning a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah, and Sentinels, they're comfortable with this for that reason. There
Thrash.
comes the crunch. Oh, it's
Yeah.
slowed.
There comes the thrash. There comes the crunch that you mentioned. And yeah, with the alarm bot at his feet. Slowed, sure, but it's really just delaying the inevitable.
Oh my gosh, and the jiggle as well from Zelsis. He spotted all 3 members there. It's just easy
Nice,
pick'ems
John.
for John QT.
3 on the round for the leader. Saucy's gonna clean up the last.
Nice,
Sentinels will
John.
get to 11.
It just looks so easy for Sentinels. They're reading FPX so hard right now. Showing B-long presence, leaning back towards Hookah. Tens, he goes all the way back around A for that thrash to go through the TP. It's beautiful. It's beautiful Valorant we're seeing right now from Sentinels. Night and day from the last time they played.
I mean, it's got to be pretty when you win 7 in a row. But I think the other thing I want to mention very quickly is you talked about how it feels like.
I did something.
I was just spit out the water I just drank. That was crazy.
You're talking about how it feels like Sentinels are reading FPX well, and they are. But I also think a lot of the individual firepower is starting to come through, like John's, as we saw a moment ago.
Yeah, he did something.
A little pat on his back.
Hey, sometimes you gotta hype yourself up, man.
Take
Yes.
wins where you can get them.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true.
This is a new look right now for FPX. It's an attack side operator.
Wah, kejepit Tens.
Tens is all alone here. I say that, but I mean, he has supporting cast, but he's the only one in Octagon.
He
That
wasn't
was
even
his
the one that
backup.
dies.
Yep, that was his backup.
I wonder here if you're expecting someone else. Yeah, Autumn is. The slow walk into it.
Kan?
Unbelievable.
Usahakan.
quick.
I wondered if he would be worried about it, if he would even check Octagon, given the smoke, given the fact that
Darah
Saucy's playing
10.
another off
Siapa yang
angle,
nembak?
the discipline and the poise out from Autumn.
Yeah.
Ini Zelsis harus dapat banyak ini,
Autumn has had to
setidaknya
play
2
against
dah.
The most ridiculous plays we've seen in Valorant China. So he's got to be ready for stuff like that. People finessing around smokes or even just running through them.
They've got to understand that Hookah hasn't been cleared. Zelsis is here, and Lysor knows. But what can they do about him?
Yeah, this is tough.
I mean, he's like a trap that's been laid. And it's almost like you know he's there. It's like itching in the back of your mind, but you can't really do anything about it. It's all going to be on timing. Meanwhile, Young falls.
Nice.
Just on the swing, and now the threat has been realized. Lysor falls, 3v3. Op still in the hands of Autumn. But
Nice. 2 lawan 2.
not around for long. Meanwhile, Life only has 10 HP. John on the tap.
Oh, di dalam.
Zel's is still playing up in Hookah. Finally dealt with.
Woo!
Finally dropped. But it's a
Dapat kan?
miracle. John gets 4 on the round.
Nice, John.
And the defuse comes through.
Mereka line up.
Oh boy, he did something again. 4. How did they bring that one back? Celsius was in hookah, stuck, biding his time.
Oh, that.
The retake utility was beautiful. The trades on top of that, phenomenal. And that plan,
One enemy remaining.
what a shame. Rough stuff for FPX. Autumn did so much in that round, but he lines up with his teammate, and John, he executes.
And now Sentinels are 1 round away from having a perfect half to take Bind, to take map 1, to take FPX's map pick.
It's been an obliteration.
Interesting approach there. Do you see Life TPs, sends his TP out towards A, and then ults, and then takes the TP. Look at how far back he is. They just dropped a smoke back there. He could pop
Wah.
on the other side of it. That was the play.
Dia tahu Tens
A
pakai
really
OP
cool
anjir.
exec from FBX, but only 1 kill found.
Aduh.
Sentinel shutting the door on them again.
Phantom tuh dah.
It's just so chaotic. It's a flood.
Kalau pakai Phantom
Sentinels
tuh
are
kok.
feeling it. They can taste it.
Just 1 member left.
Bentar.
And it's all on Berlin in a 1v2. The spam's coming through. 25 HP. Too many
Kalau
targets
kalau
to deal
pakai
with.
Phantom tuh kok pengen nge-spray anjir.
13-8.
Coba tengok tadi ya.
A really cool exec from FBX, but only 1 kill found. Sentinel,
Dia dapat berapa sih?
a really cool
Sasi.
exec from FBX, but only 1
Dapat
kill
1.
found.
Enggak dapat dia. Ngelowin doang.
It's just so chaotic. It's a flood. Sentinels are feeling it. They can taste it.
Just 1 member left. And it's all on Berlin in a 1v2. The spam's coming through. 25 HP. Too many targets to deal with.
That happened.
Different story. What?
Kalau pakai Phantom tuh pengen nge-spray ya. Literally. Kenapa aku dikasih leadernya anjir? Ieru Yumi Takemi. Ah. La 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 la. What the?
Coming into these matches, play too scared. We're not making little adjustments and switching things up and talking to each other enough. And the boys did an incredible job with that, right? Every freeze time, even if it's the same setup, change a little thing, add a little idea, middle of the round, push a little, all that stuff. They were just much more confident and creative today, and I love to see it.
We love to see it as well. Best of luck on map 2.
Sentinels picks up a win thanks to a flawless defensive side. Absolute magic from the boys over in the Sen camp here. And,
Gak dikasih angka tadi kan?
Glimpses of it early on when they were on the attacking side, what they were able to really
mereka
begin to like
defend.
muster up, and there were some great ideas and they executed them incredibly well.
Yeah, rounds like this early on had me a little worried about Sentinel. As you see in this one, FPX inching out from showers, going for a walk down outside of hookah. They were super proactive in taking these forward plays, and in a lot of rounds, FPX was getting these first picks because of it. 8 out of 12 rounds, they started at an advantage. But after that, Sen started turning it around, finding some of these hard-hit rounds with the ultimates, and then a perfect second half to win it.
I think their game plan and overall understanding of how to beat this comp was good.
Yeah.
And it's exactly like Kaplan said. The micro was going wrong. It was the spacing and that kind of trading. And you could see their game plan was good just from their overall XX and as well how they were playing it, I think, on their flood defense. But in particular, I think that they really dominated in that particular aspect, but struggling on rounds where they didn't have the ults to get in, which is why you started to see that 8-4 beginning to the map. But it all came together. It all started clicking on the defense when they really started to flood in, make sure that they were synced up, no longer making the same mistakes where they were making sure that life could capitalize.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues of this FPX comp is it struggles to stall out plants, and I think they hit the nail on the head once Sentinels started to go for more of these hard execute rounds. There's not a lot of util you have to bait out in FPX's comp.
Basically
They started doing
a paranoia.
yeah, and they did a great job of doing so. And on top of that, Zekken has had such a turnaround. I think that series versus Gen G to open up champions was one of the worst series I've ever seen from this guy, but he's back to playing like the Zekken that won Madrid this time.
And you know what, too, Coach Kaplan was talking about the fact that he wanted, it was the micro, right? The little things that they could try and like use and do to get in there. And I think you were really starting to see that from Zekken. He was just taking more fights. He was being a little bit more proactive, getting involved a bit more. And I think that if they can continue to do that, that is exactly what we've come to respect with Sentinels, when they don't fear their opponent and they do go for those plays.
Yeah, and when they understand that they are some of the best players in the world and actually remember that fact as well. I think they were playing with confidence, but it was just the tiniest of things that were going wrong for them, where Life is a skilled enough player to put them down, Autumn's a skilled enough player to put them down. Every player on FPX was having individual moments where they were kind of punishing that Paul, just little moments where they're trying to punish an individual just stepping out into the space. But it came together at the end. And
Bagus bajunya.
the fan reaction, I think, overall to Zekken was just calling for chops and changes to the roster.
Kenapa hijau dalamannya ya?
Individual, but after that first game, big overreaction.
Warna hitam
The thing that I
panas.
think I want the fans to understand is that Sentinels are so team orientated. They're so team pilled. They need to play together as a team. They need to have the right page, the right ideas, and because of that, individuals don't really shine unless the whole team is clicking. When the whole team clicks, that's when players individually are going to be empowered to move forwards. When they know players are at the back, the util's there to support them.
It's like if you were a Sentinels fan last year and you were watching their bad 2023 season where they also had Zekken on the roster, Zekken didn't look like a superstar player. But it's because they were calling him into a lot of hard hits where he wasn't set up for success. This Sentinels is setting him up for success, and when they play well, he plays great.
Yeah, and the Sentinels had an incredible turnaround. Once again, a flawless defensive side. You got to be happy about that. But now it's time to switch the script a little bit. Go to our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. We decided to give this one to Life because this guy was just constantly on the kill feed with multi-kills non-stop. He actually was great in this map. He got, a little shut down toward the end there, but he had some awesome moments and moments just like this, Brent.
Yeah, and I think it highlights as well kind of the spacing being off for the initial half for Sen. You can see they kind of just lined up for him, but I don't want to take the credit away from Life because he played out of his mind this entire game. His individuals were on point, and it takes a lot of individual skill to be able to hit that second shot under the amount of pressure that you are, where you're being swung by 3 players. Sen dedicating that many players to try and shut that guy down, and he was still coming up with the goods and the damage.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. Well, now let's go ahead and hear over from Coach Nathan at the FPX camp to see what's going on with the squad going into map 2.
I'm now joined by Coach Nathan D from FPX and Luna to do some translations as well. Now, you guys looked really good against Team Heretics on Lotus earlier in this tournament, but we're talking about Sentinels here. You're going to have to face up against next. What are some of the differences you feel like Sentinels might have compared to Heretics on this map?
其实之前在跟 TH 打莲花古城这张图的时候发挥的很棒嘛，但是我们聊聊接下来要跟 Sentinels 打，那你觉得跟 TH 相比，他们会有什么不一样的地方吗？
他们不一样的地方可能是之前阵容不一样，然后但是我觉得他看 TH 把我们赢了，他可能也会拿回来个阵容，想尝试去赢我们，但我们也准备了不一样的东西给他们。
I think they are different is their comps, but if they think they saw as how we perform that good.
Ini kalau deadlock lagi.
Heretics might they will change their comps too, but we prepared something different for them, of course.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much, Coach Nathan and Luna as well. Let's see how they can do on map 2.
All right, well, let's go ahead
Please,
and dive into
main
what we
apa
should
ya?
be expecting here at map 2. It's
Main
gonna be
3
loaded.
smoker.
You got Sentinel starting on the defensive side here. And maybe can add on to that success that they had on Bind, right?
My big question, do they play the deadlock comp again? And if they do, how does it look? Because I didn't think it looked terrible, but there were some gaps.
Fed pasti, Fed. Raze pasti. Jadi dua tuh pasti. Omen tuh Titan pasti Omen dah kayaknya. Gue lagi nggak tahu.
Fine if they go back to it. I think deadlock is good. I think it just comes down to implementation.
Implementation and how someone feels using that particular agent. They
Omen,
just a big win here,
Fed,
switching things up.
sama Raze pasti.
I'm pretty curious about FPX's comp as well. I'm trying to get a sneak preview of this one because they played their triple control.
Main Killjoy. Oke.
Okay, this is a
Omen, Raze, Fed pasti kan? Bener aku kan?
Smokes double initiator. Don't ask me to break this down in 10 seconds. I'm not going to be able to do it in terms of the pros and cons. You have a lot of util to try and take slow map control. Fight opting in. Sentinels are swapping their
Mereka nggak pakai gecko.
So FPX,
Okay. No duelists. Okay.
aggro plays from Sentinels and be able to fight into A, things like that. Get opening picks. That's the name of the game for him.
Mereka main
like
breeze.
on map 1. Autumn's very comfortable on this agent, and I think their retakes will probably also be solid with that double initiator. Sen though, moving away from the deadlock, they're playing default Fnatic comp. I think that's fine. That's comfortable. They played it before and they've been great with it before.
And Kaplan did put an emphasis saying that we're focusing much more on anti-stratting. FPX have just moved away from their triple controller comp, which I think there was tons of exploitable elements with that composition. And now they moved to this. So your preparation out the window if you're Sen. You're going to be adapting on the fly.
If Sentinels was going to prove their fundamentals are back, this is the map to do it. Playing the basic comp against something weird. Let's see if they're ready.
Couldn't agree more, Mimi. Let's go ahead and see if this one can go to a third map. We're sending it back over to your captain.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, GB. I think the big elephant that we've got to address in the room is that Sentinels have won a map for the first time in what feels like a really long time. It seems like they're going back to the fundamentals, the basics that Mimi was talking about on the desk.
Sen fans rejoice around the world for sure. But this comp from FPX, what are they cooking, Doug? This is some weird stuff we're about to see. I feel like they might be overcooking, even on the last map, changing their game plan and whatnot.
Molinya ada dua.
To play what you're comfortable with, what you're used to, and FPX's triple controller comp, it's nothing like anything Sen have ever played against. Now this comp as well isn't like anything they've ever played against, but it's comfortability for Sen.
What a crunch! They send 3 down mound, they drop the paranoia, and they dump Fade utility into B.
Yeah, that's what promptly allows for the speed up of FPX. Oh, opting not to break the Killjoy turret. Probably break it after the smoke fades, but it's gonna shoot him right here. I don't know about this right now.
It's
still up.
That pesky thing is still up.
I mean,
they got what they wanted. They got the spike down. Now they're in a 5v5 post plant.
The Sentinels have so much info once the smoke fades. I guess it's just gonna be reoccurring smokes here.
Life still playing in it.
I mean, they know. Sen surely know that there's somebody close by.
They have to know. Well,
Nice.
He's dead now. John and Zekin getting a couple openers. Now they can turn their attention over towards Tree. The spike has been going off for a little bit, but it's all been so decisive. And look, they're going to crunch. Sasi trying to deal with the first, and unfortunately he cannot. Zekin gets in on it though with the Sheriff in hand. John's going to stick the defuse all the way, and there's nothing that can stop him. Sentinels get the pistol.
I hate to be a harbinger of bad news.
Gak mau dihancurin dia, salah live itu tadi itu.
That entirety is just so bad.
Kenapa nggak
what FPX were
dihancurin
trying
aja
to
robot
accomplish in that round.
KJ-nya?
Even if you're trying to play in that smoke and try to finesse around and kill stairs, you want that broken because when the smokes fade, it's going to shoot at you no matter where you're at on site. And that's free info the entire round for Sen. But right now, Zelsis he's just calming to his team. Yo, turrets up still. Turrets up still. Wait for the smokes to fade. He'll have a full line on site. It's a disaster of a mistake.
Anjir, ngikutan ngedodge aku anjir.
Zeka needs to get out of dodge quickly. And it's Berlin on the breach who's the forefront. I mean, you can't prep for that.
Again, another spam kill. As Berlin waltzes into his death as well.
Sen have got to be one of the scariest teams to play when they are feeling it. Whoa.
What the fuck?
So
Hilang
good at
vandalnya.
I guess this is why they decided to just slap him on it on this map. Spike should get planted because of that entry.
Ion committing to it. Now going to be 2 pips away from having his ult online.
Yeah. And he's got 3 more in the chamber right now. Autumn might be able to finesse this round. He gets caught lacking. Saucy going absolutely
Mati vandalnya.
nuclear right now in the back of sight. Cleans it up. Ion couldn't do anything, and
Nice sih.
Zekin is gonna
Sachi,
defuse the
Sachi.
spike. He's getting closer to that showstopper, and another strong start continuing from that last half they had.
Yeah, I think, you know, it was funny as we were watching some of that play out, it felt a little reminiscent to how Sentinels looked on the first half
Kena
of
tap
Bind.
dia sini.
Yeah, where
Boom.
it just felt like, and again,
Meninggal.
yes, it was an eco, I understand all that, but the way that they approach some
Jadi
of these
pengen main
the way they're
chamber aja.
approaching some of these fights felt very much like what Sentinels looked like in the first half of Bind.
I agree. I agree. But Tens is on a Bucky right now.
Lucky light armor. The investment isn't huge here.
Yeah.
A Vandal and a Bulldog, but as far as big guns go, that's it.
Main di sudut
Big give
itu
his
dia.
rifle to Zekin,
Main di depan itu
understanding
pakai
that if he
baki.
gets, you know, a kill after grabbing that orb, he will have the showstopper online. Is Autumn going to be ready for this? This is so hard to clear.
Autumn's been good. Swing, man.
It's got to be a 1 pump. There it is.
They could deal with the anticipation any longer. Look at all of this Killjoy utility set up towards C.
Yeah, and look at all the space that Tens got after getting that kill. He has all of A. Look at how many members of Sentinels are here.
The Thrash now invested. A little bit of space found. Zelsis will get
Whoa.
caught. There's not enough help that'll save you there. Lysar now getting a little bit of high ground repositioning though. The spike not committed yet. Tens is starting
Tens
to rotate over,
lewat
doesn't have
door.
the paranoia. Tap of the door. It's all just a threat.
Putar dia. Jauh banget.
Faint pressure right now. He's going to wrap all the way around as well. There's no trips up. He might catch these players lacking.
Ayang is ready for it.
Oh, he sees a barrel in the main.
Not able to land the first shots, and remember, there is more than just this threat here. It's more than just Berlin. Can the rest of Sentinels take space on the site? Well, all of this is happening out towards Mound. If Tens can buy some time, if he continue to be eye candy, there's
Wah,
a shot at this, but
mati
FPX manage every single threat so well. Second dance to the Thrash. Zekin's left alone in a 1v3. Berlin's weak, but that spike has been going off for a little while. I don't know if there's enough time for this.
Apa-apa. Huwag bikin rugi aja.
There's none at all.
Rifle
Zekin
hilang.
gets some nice shots on that exit right
Nice,
there. He's
dapat
definitely feeling
ulti.
himself. That's why Tens dropped him
Gak
the
apa-apa, nggak
rifle.
menang bonus.
But the reaction from
Nice shot,
FPX,
Zekin.
that was a great thrash from Ion. Wrapping all the way around, and Berlin with a supporting utility there. Very good stuff, yeah. I mean, what can you do?
You can only smile there.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about how well FPX handled this situation right here. They knew that Tens was on the flank. They knew they were going to have to deal with some of the pressure, with some of everything that was being thrown their way, and to be able to effectively parse all of that info out in the chaotic moment is really difficult to do.
Yeah, and Lysor, who had a really rough map. Ooh, nice pick from Autumn. Wait, he's not stopping. They're not stopping life with the follow-up.
Tens is here by himself. Now Jonky
Wah.
is joining the fray, but Tens peppered, finally put down.
Wah, nggak mati lu banget itu.
Yeah, sure, FPX has a couple of weak members as well, but
What an A fight.
yeah,
That's with no duelist on top of it. I mean, it's almost impossible to get out of that choke.
you wouldn't know it.
But the power of Chambers, you're able to take that.
Nggak
quick
ada yang
lead. I mean,
mati
we saw
loh
how good,
FPX-nya. Tapi
Luis
low-nya
was
3 orang.
behind Against Fnatic. I mean, he was dominating.
Dibilang 2 lawan 2 nggak bisa. Siapa yang menculik 3 orang ya?
Well, Autumn still getting value, just getting bombarded. But to my point, what I wanted to talk about was Lysor in the previous round. He was rough on the last map. But when he's on point for this team of FPX, they just dominate teams. So he had the schmooze on C site in the previous round. This time around, he's sitting at 8 HP, but that paranoia got some value. And it's going to be a full save right now from the side of Sen. Now you got to think, you know, how are you going to approach this A fight, because you just gave it your all.
Laki barusan.
Zekin tried getting an aggressive angle, but
yeah, the follow-up fight was just too much.
Again, you wouldn't believe that they didn't have a duelist in that situation.
Yeah, really.
Kenapa di spot ini malah banyak orang ya? Aneh banget.
It's the power of chamber on this map, and I think a lot of teams like are a little wary of playing chamber. They think it's like, you know, not as good as, you know, Cypher or Killjoy, and to be fair, they could be true, but it doesn't mean that chamber is a bad pick on this map whatsoever.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of teams make it work, most notably T1. Saw Saya player on that, and he made it look really.
Sentinel main apa
so
kok di sini? Bukan chamber.
It could really do a lot of damage.
And you know what's crazy is I think we're going to see most of the heavy part of a good game plan there when it gets to their defensive side. So if you're already seeing some of the value on attack, I mean, we'll see what the rest of this map has in store for us. No ults up on the side of the attack. But again, we're going to see this A fight. And I get it, neither team willing to relent on this area of the map. Full dump at util. He's so dead. He had nowhere to go there. He was lit up.
Yeah.
And then obliterated.
From the top. Zekin went on that double box around that Viper wall that you see on the mini-map and just was able to elevate so far in the air. But it's interesting. Sentinels are using their, you know, their nade tether combo to try to catch out Lysor, but he's not actually TPing across. So that gives Autumn an opportunity to just swing out main for free and TP out after he takes his shot. I wonder if Sen are going to mix it up in the future rounds and try to punish Autumn. Try to get some chip damage on him.
Paranoia masih ada nggak ya?
Make sure he can't take a pop shot or anything like that. It's going to be an A reclear though from the side of FPX. Lysor. He's not sitting too healthy. 30 HP to his name.
And Tens is in such a good spot. Zekin smoked off, but you're still going to have to do a Tens.
It's too easy.
Falling. And now Saucy has arrived.
It just looked too easy right there.
30 seconds left.
And that, I mean, honestly, that was still a pretty strong position from FPX, all things considered. That was a 5v4. It wasn't like they were super down in numbers and they were heavily outgunned.
They just didn't peak together. Berlin way too far ahead of his squad. It's something that you see him do quite often. He's a maniac on this team, honestly.
And we saw it a couple of times on Bind. We've seen it here as well.
Yeah, he's kind of like Kerrigan-esque, where he'll be the entry as the IGL, and then once he's down, he can do like his mid-rounding. But when you're already down a player, it's too much of an ask. Tens, he's starting to heat up now too. You give this team confidence.
Itu kalau ditembak ke dalam tadi tuh dapat 3 deh tuh. Ke dalam pintu ya. Aku lebih milih tembak ke dalam pintu sih. Gak tahu dah.
Well, and that's the swing you were talking about. Berlin was just so far ahead of everything.
Yang pasti aja sih kalau di tim pro. Ada satu yang pasti mati mah. Kalau main ring tentu ngejar yang main hantam aja kalau main ring.
The trading has to be on point because it's only going to go from bad to worse if you can't equalize in fights like that.
Yeah, and oftentimes when you swing together, sometimes players get overwhelmed and they don't know which target to choose from, and you might even just get the kill clean and all of a sudden it's a 4v4. I mean, when you're going against Tens, probably not likely, but there's still a chance, right? At least get the trade. And that's why you see this timeout coming out from FPX. Coach has got to be telling them, guys, chill out, start playing as a team more, stop trying to go for these crazy plays.
Aku sambil main game sebelah.
What got us here.
Yeah, it does feel, man.
It's a very early timeout.
It is. I don't want to say desperate. But again, some of the swings felt a little bit like they were just throwing lives away. It almost felt like we were watching an eco round where Sentinels had full rifles and they were just in classics and like, all right, let's kind of move on into the next.
And it was anything but that, right? Tens had a Bulldog. If you peek somebody together against a Bulldog, I swear 9 times out of 10 he can't connect on both.
Right.
You must have to line up perfectly.
We'll see what adjustments come out on the other side of this timeout. I think on the side of Sentinels, you're seeing some of the adjustments. We've talked about this dump of utility towards A main these last couple of rounds, and this time it's been anything but.
Yeah, they changed their game plan. They were anticipating a front B walk. That's why you saw Zekin and John QT posted up right there. But the problem with how FPX are taking this approach on the attacking side is they're just 5-manning everything right now. So while all this A control is happening, Zellsis is just jiggling C for free. You look at the minimap, and he has all the info. So that's why there's 3 players geared up of Sentinels towards A site.
Yeah, they're really not playing the map at all. And I mean, given the fact that we're talking about Lotus, it's a 3-site map, you would think that's what you're going to want to lean into.
Yep.
More than even on other maps.
And especially when you don't have a duelist.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you want to go for this A execute, who's going to close the gap?
Well, 2 bits of util, but they're pretty early off of that. You've got the Nightfall and the Paranoia and Tens and Saucy holding the line, but Berlin on the counterpunch, cleaning up a couple of his own. Maybe a little bit of room to breathe here for the attack.
30 seconds left.
Right now, Autumn needs to
Masih ada net.
to Berlin, have him plant while he covers for free.
Attacker pasti coba curi satu dulu jadi 2 lawan 2 gitu.
Right? That orb is
Makanya dicari dia nih.
A site.
Yeah.
So this could be a really good post plan opportunity.
Tapi kalau waktunya udah mepet itu susah anjir.
Second still has that nade. I mean, he might be able to delay this. This nade is going to be perfect. The cleanup on John as well.
Autumn's now been left on his own with an op in hand, trying to Rambo his way through it, and he just can't.
No, and now that's an operator if Sentinels want it.
And they have, yeah, they've picked it up. This feels very uncharacteristic of the FPX that I think people saw in Shanghai. The same team that took maps off of the 2 finalists in Shanghai, the team that looked much stronger leading into Seoul, and then the team that we've seen here as well.
And this is the problem of when you're trying to anti-strat teams with compositions and whatnot. It's not like FPX aren't good at the triple controller comp that they run, but I think they just put too much stock into maybe Sentinels counter-stratting them, and they wanted to mix things up. Now all of a sudden the FPX players are uncomfortable. You start making hero plays.
Or
trying to make hero plays, and you're getting punished for it by a team of Sentinels who now have gone back to their comfortability and are just playing the fundamental game of Lotus.
Here's that op that you mentioned from the previous round, now in the hands of Zekin, who's holding down B-Long.
And you have an Odin as well on the other side.
Yeah.
Seeing how deadly the Odin could be.
There are no good options here. Fortunately for FPX, the eye gets cleared out, so there's no way to get secure spam damage. They're going to rotate away, and if they rotate away back C, again, there's no good option. Either you deal with the op that's down B, you deal with the spam from Saucy A, or you deal with the, I mean, every single bit of KJ utility.
Yeah, literally.
C, unless Autumn can deal with them. But, I mean, Zellsis, even his positioning is really nice. He's not giving away an angle. He's not giving a fight.
And it's the double layers. He doesn't need to peek anything here. Oh, that's a really good breach. C right there. Doesn't get the turret still, though, so still info. Gained right now for Zellsis, and he's just going to play backside right now. Ooh, that flash connect.
Tens has his ult if he wants to rotate over very quickly, or John can just mow him over. There it is, the ult invested, and he arrives to see Zellsis holding the line on C. Another dominant round for Sentinels.
Yeah, Zellsis played that so well. Full layered utility there. It's all because FPX was on a bad buy. They had that B line from the start of the round. If Zekin gets overwhelmed, he can satchel out. So he doesn't need any extra utility to support him there. And then John is able to flood in. It's beautiful play.
And even the little things like Zellsis seeing that the breach util was coming through and instantly realizes, oh, I've got to pop the nanos. And even if he's not getting damage, he's
ayo.
Delays.
Yeah.
Bikin pulang Gio. Bikin pulang Gio.
Sentinels up 3 rounds. They've dropped a pit towards C.
Ooh. Operator almost connected on the 10s right there.
Aduh, sayang banget netnya. Ada orang di situ.
If you're running a chamber, you kind of feel like you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you're right. If you really want to lean into the strengths of the agent.
it's just so hard for FPX to bust through any of these sites. You have no Raze, you have no Jet to get away from that Killjoy utility or the Viper Molly, or even the Omen Flash.
Maju dikit je Ken, maju dikit.
Every piece of util will connect.
Ayolah, hantam
Almost
aja
feels like
sih
you're trying
Ken.
to play this attack half with a hand tied behind your back.
Yeah, it's a handicap.
Wah, berhenti di situ
Play the
anjir.
game on hard mode.
They might try to NB here. They've got to smoke.
Wah, dapat 2.
Forget the smoke.
It's round over. 30 seconds left.
And they don't have money. You're right. They have to save here.
Oh, wait.
They might try to go for this. 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Berlin will fall. They're going to try to get out towards tree, but Tens is here. Playing just up on the other side of this smoke. I guess they're going to wait for it to go down and then trust the numbers that they have. There it is. What a beautiful reposition up from Tens. A flawless round from Sentinels. The stomp continues.
Main 2 OP, main 2 OP.
Setup to the round was great.
Gak berani anjir.
Greater.
Main 2 OP lah.
Sexus was supporting John in that Viper's pit. Alarm bot was ahead of everything. Gives you security if you're John playing in that pit alone. You're able to cheat a little bit back, and then you get the collat front B.
Yuk ke BF yuk, ke BF yuk.
Yeah, FPX, they gotta burn that second time out. This is getting
Mesti
out of
game
hand,
apa
getting
sih
out of hand
mainnya?
very fast. This comp change, I get it. You showed a lot of rounds against Heretics.
Habis
I
ini
understand.
kru.
You wanna switch it up, you
Bili-bili.
wanna
Aduh.
catch
Udahan
Sentinel
aku
off
lebih
guard.
dah. Gak apa-apa 2 game doang,
Sometimes
gak
you just
apa-apa.
gotta play your own game to win, and now you're stuck in this spot. And what can you do?
And then remember, I've got to mention the stakes here because that's not something we've talked about a ton, to be honest. This is elimination.
Yeah.
This is the end of the year for you. I mean, it's a long offseason, and it feels like an even longer offseason when you've got how the loss went through ruminating in your mind for months.
Yeah. Especially with that close series they had against Heretics.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It's nuts.
The thing about situations like this, though, is if the team is capable of making adjustments, they'll do
Mari
it, and they'll
kita
have
ke
to do it
BF.
here.
BF.
FPX down 4 rounds, running this different no duelist comp on Lotus, where they aren't really playing the map as well as you would think, or playing it to its full degree as you would expect, given the comp.
Ya Allah, full
But
BF-nya
perhaps
anjir.
The second timeout is what brings fruit.
Any type of saving grace. Maybe this hero buy on Ayong. Maybe if they can get an entry, you can commit some of the ultimates.
Bentar bro, bentar bro.
And yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see if they can do anything about it here.
it's gonna be very hard. It's an uphill battle, to say the least. Autumn does have 8 bullets of the Headhunter, and we've seen how crisp he is with that. So they just need an entry. They need some type of first blood.
Apakah ada party
I
aku di
think an
sini?
operator versus a chamber Headhunter. I think the op wins that.
It should.
We'll see when the smoke fades.
That's the other thing, as we think about some of the adjustments that have played out in this map, think about, there's the off winning,
Bentar bro.
by the way. You think about how hellbent Sentinels
Ya
were in
Allah, nggak ada
controlling A-Main in the
party,
beginning of the
anjir.
rounds with the dumpy utility, and it feels like the night and day difference has been so clear.
Well, I think they realized that they could just play in the back of sight
Exactly.
because there's no duelist.
Exactly. They don't have to take these fights. They can play ahead of it. You see both Omen's trying to TP ahead of the utility, and Tens is getting the best of life source. Sasi on the swing, he's gonna find another. Not able to connect onto the third, but now 4v2. Make that a 4v1. Life with
Nice.
the Singer cannot
Unreal.
connect.
It's
Bentar,
unreal.
bentar.
I'm pretty sure
Tak
Tens
ada dapat party
did that
aku
Omen
nih.
thing where you could TP past the breach all and finesse it,
I think he did as well.
and that's why it was full support right there. It's unreal.
Yeah,
The
we'll
state of gameplay Sen is showing.
Hopefully we get that on the replay. There's that off kill that you mentioned.
I mean,
really nice play.
I mean, Autumn
Yeah.
tried. He hit him, but it just wasn't a headshot. You gotta connect like that. And Zekin, he's feeling it right now with the operator. I haven't seen him shoot like this with the op in a while. I mean, over a month.
And honestly, all signs are good when Zekin is smiling if you're a Sentinels fan.
And another new look right here, right? Aggressive tether. This time pushing Autumn all the way back. They understand that Autumn can purchase an operator, and he's taking that peak almost every single round. So instead of tethering to
Aduh, nggak ada
go with
party.
Life Sword,
Aduh, gimana ya?
they get the TP out.
Nak build diam aja.
I mean, he's been so mobile with the operator. He showed front B a bunch. Last round he was A, now he's C. Are FPX going to read into that? And even if they do, can they do anything about it?
Yeah. I mean, that's half the battle. Look, the adjustments.
Udahlah, main dulu aja dah.
Sentinels have made
Nonton
really
dulu aja.
nice, but maybe FPX can find a little bit of room here towards C, perhaps. I mean, Zekin is still here with the op. John is close by. They're just not giving them these fights anymore. That feels like the biggest difference. Now
Aduh,
John
berat,
was on the
berat.
swing. He's going to get punished for it. Zekin manages to find safe passage with op in hand. A second dip in. Boom. I thought he was going to hit him, and that would have been devastating. The nade's not going to feel good. The pit invested. He's got to stay alive here.
Yeah, but they're all stuck. They're all corralled here. Oh, just now we see Life taking more aggressive space in CT.
Maju San.
What do they have to pound? Zekin has his Roomba. And Tenzos has full utility, but an op trying to get into a pit in a situation like that, it's all hands on Zekin.
What
he
the
just
fuck
cannot.
is that?
I mean, a random bullet connecting.
Nanti
And
bro.
FPX alleviates some of this pressure, finally finding a round.
Finally finding an answer. And the
Parah,
answer so
aku tak ada
far in this half
party
has
lagi.
been Thrash. It's been Ion on C site using that. Last time they were able to accumulate 2 rounds from it. Let's see if they can get another one and slowly bring this back. Slowly give themselves a chance into the mix.
Ini
But
satu
it's been
orang.
baiting out C utility and then going with the second layer. Yeah, you're not running a duelist, so you have to play this way. You have to bait out the stuff that can stuff you in the chokes and then re-hit.
Back to the old tried and true. You've got the suck, you've got the nade. And now Zekin's fishing for more. That rocket's not going to connect.
Itu tukar
It doesn't
satu.
connect, but it's all space gathered. And again, Zelsis is just jiggling C. He's rarely gotten a fight here. At every single time he's been jiggling like this, Sen have known that they end A.
Wah,
He
kena.
might be in a little bit of trouble here. He
Yeah,
has
he
one
needs to be
satchel.
very careful here.
Slight little sidestep. It's him against the world right now.
That's another nade.
That nade is really nice, but he's got nowhere to go. Plucked out of the sky. I thought he was going to find safety.
Almost.
But Life puts him down, and now tap of the door as they turn their attention towards A. Meanwhile,
Turun,
Sasi's
turun,
still
Sasi, turun.
jiggling that angle. Sasi's
Nice.
got his ult online. And it's going to connect onto, what, 2?
He gets a lot of info with that and is able to reposition onto site.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of time left in the round.
And
There's
there's
jaga B.
no movement from the side of FPX. They're still deciding to end here, and Life just gets taken out for free.
Dia mau ke B ni, dia mau ke B ni. Jagain B.
So A doesn't work for a couple of tries.
30 seconds left.
And I guess maybe they think they can find some.
Ah, mandi main ya. Bener banget.
Zelsis positioned so well, exactly. The turret's gonna. Oh, wait, what's going on right now?
Huh?
Must be a glitch.
Oh, I think it's just out of the cone. Just out of the cone.
But he still gets info regardless here.
10
And a
seconds
ping.
left.
Maybe they know. They understand he might be front B.
It seems like they do.
Oh, that's not
Zelsis
lucky.
buying his time.
Nice.
Sasi joins him for the kill. And that's another one for Sentinels.
Apa itu
That's
turretnya itu?
Very quickly, as we think about turning our attention towards the last round of the half, Zelsis will be 1 point away from having his ult.
And I wonder if you're going to see, like, maybe an A setup this time from Zelsis. Or maybe he's just going to stay C and just jiggle infinitely again. But if they do decide to put him towards A with some supporting cast, maybe he can grab the orb. But honestly, they don't really need to push anything right now.
They really
Tuh,
don't.
The way
tak ada
that Sen have been winning a lot of these
party.
rounds have just been letting the game come to them.
Right?
And that's what you want to do when you're not playing against a duelist. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And again, that's the big adjustment that we saw from the first couple of rounds. And so it seems like Zelsis will go back to his C setup. The turret B, and a little bit more aggression towards A. This feels almost identical to what we saw in the previous round.
It just feels like FPX have just run into a wall. And they want to make this A fight work so badly. It's just not working for them.
I mean, they just dropped a paranoia all the way out towards Broken Door.
With a one-way as well. Oh,
Nice.
Zelsis gets orb off of that.
He's going to have his ult. There it is. There's really no way to clear it out either.
And this is so awkward right now for FPX. That ultimate, it's so unconventional.
Sasi with a big fight here. If Life gives him the swing, and now he certainly won't. Now with the threat of that on the other side of the wall.
Oh my gosh, it's so scary if you're Life right now.
There's smoke on the other side. I mean, look at his position. There's literally no room to breathe. Well, I saw an Autumn, the only 2 that remain. in a 2v4. Zekken's going to be the first to try to get onto the tap. Lysor falls. Zekken's going to stick it the whole way. No resistance.
Selalu Zekken yang nge-stick. Kenapa ya?
This Sentinels is fired up. They're back in form, Doug.
I just don't really know. Yeah, this comp.
Aku ingat waktu dia lolos ke mana ya? Ke Madrid. Si Zekken juga yang nge-stick. Masih bersih banget ingatan aku di kepala tuh. Zekken yang muter-muter badan aja. Aduh, nggak ada party anjir. Bentar aku PM. Pak, partimu penuh kah? Aduh, gak dibales pula. Coba join aja deh. Nah. Cepat yuk, kejar BF kill yuk. 16k aku disuruh kill. Goblok nih game, anjir. Berapa hari tuh disuruh di BF.
Heretics made it out of the group. I mean, you're thinking that, yeah, they could do this. And they're gonna have to do this right here, right now. This comp, it needs to be phenomenal on this defense. We're gonna have to see a lot of value from the chamber.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the chamber's even going to be tested this round. He is taking a little bit of space, though.
An early A fight, and just utility being thrown.
Berlin's by himself here. One spotted. He may be overstaying as well.
Nice.
I mean, there's no way you stand to that. They're so decisive on this hit. As soon as the shoulder was spotted, Zekken was satcheling into his face.
And he's already here, close and personal.
Wow, miss.
Really nice shots out from Life. And he's leaving Zelsis on his own. He's got light armor.
Lah, kok muter deh?
Michael's planted through all that. He's got lineups, bro.
And he's gonna, no way he's gonna flank all the way around. This Molly will buy enough time for it, but he needs to be very careful here.
Satu doang Molly
I
kan?
don't think it's a very interesting play. Oh, the tap, it might work in his favor.
It's gonna buy a little bit of time. Now Lysor's gotten it to half. Automed's been spotted, not able to connect the shots. He's got to spam into the smoke, and he can't connect.
Wow.
The pistol goes the way of FPX.
Yeah. Life, honestly, he
Zekken tadi miss yang di door itu.
FPX in that pistol round, getting 2 in broken door.
Kabur peluru mencar.
And he's sitting at the top.
You take a look at it again. It seemed done.
Yeah,
honestly.
I really thought with the reposition from Zekken, I thought it was going to be done. I thought he was feeling it, but the wide swing from Ayung, he broke the crosshair of Zekken. Zekken couldn't connect. And Life, he stepped up big right there. So they're slowly going to crawl their way back into this. They need to win this round flawlessly. Maybe dropping your weaker weapons. That's it.
Zekken's got a shorty.
Ooh.
And 2 satchels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd commit onto it there.
All right.
Doing a really good job of weathering some of this pressure.
Dia ngincar planting aja itu tuh. Dapat duit udah.
And they're going to continue to push him, or at least attempt to.
Kalau Ron
Gets another on the
Iko
round.
kalah, Ron
The remaining members
pistol
of Sentinels
kalah, ngejar apa aja.
trying to do their very best to stay
Ngejar
up, but
planter.
Autumn gets 4.
And he's gonna get that
Yang penting
spike
ngeplan
as
dapat
well, so
duit
he's
udah.
building up towards
Tapi kalau bisa menangin sih.
that ultimate.
Kalau bisa dapetin
Double
berapa
off if
senjata
he
gitu.
wants. And I said it, they need to win it flawlessly. They did just that.
Well, and I think you could argue that they got even
Kenapa
more
chat aku ada
than
dua
that.
dah?
Again, given how things played out for Autumn, given that he was
Sumpah
able to get
kocak
4
nih
kills on the
chat
round,
ini nih.
and then get a little bit closer to having the ult online.
A real big chance here to snowball this game and bring it back within grasp.
Well, and that's the thing you were talking about, is when you know that there's a chamber on the other side, you want to try to flush him out. You want to try to get to him as aggressively as possible and force him into an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Sentinels there, Autumn just was able to handle it.
He's so good in those moments. It's very impressive.
Bentar.
Stam not finding a kill.
Life, that was a very risky play.
Berlin's getting a little cheeky here as well.
It's just
Zekan, berani aja Zekan.
heroics that are trying to happen, but
Lupa aku ngandelin Zekan
this
aja.
Sentinels, this version of Sentinels with the way
Kenapa
that
nggak
they're
dikasih
playing,
Zekan?
it's together. They're playing as a unit. It's gonna be very hard, especially if
Kenapa
you
nggak
don't have
dikasih
an escape.
Zekan
I
ya?
could see if it's Autumn because he can TP out.
Sure, but your breach doesn't have that same
or
level
Viper,
of mobility.
yeah, or Viper, yeah. It's tough to get out of dodge.
So they do have a couple of weapons here. They're going to attempt, or at least, I don't even know that Autumn can really get in. He's been tagged, he's been spotted,
spammed,
he's been
yeah.
dealt with.
Oh my goodness.
Another kill
Massacre.
through smokes. Sentinels will get to 10, and yes, that was their bonus, sure.
Yang nggak semestinya menang itu Heretic lawan Genji gitu, kok bisa kalah Genji ya, sumpah. Malah berat lawan Genji anjir. Aku mending, aku nggak takut Sentinel lawan Heretic.
And then Berlin doing a bit of the same.
100%.
He was aware of how exposed
Lawan
he was
Genji serem banget.
Didn't expect Zekin to peak in the timing that he did. And Zekin's having a hell of a map right now. Him and Tens are just going tit for tat. Who's going to be at the top of this game? It's like they're competing with one another. But Autumn gets really far ahead of that.
That's
Hampir
why the
aja.
duo was put together. This is what was imagined when these two got put together. Zekin popping the ult, clearing so much space towards C. Look at how far back Berlin has had to run away.
It's a free spike planet as well. There is a lot of utility, though, for this retake. Saucy is sitting on that Fade ultimate, though. This could be very deadly to the side of FPX. And the Q is just going to be the Killjoy utility.
Yeah, it's such an aggressive alarm bot.
Look at these mollies. There's 2 mollies pre-placed. This is a crazy post plant from Sentinels.
The paranoia is out. There's the first. The molly pop. The alarm bot's going to get some info. FPX haven't really gained very much space other than what they already had. Lysor's the only one who's now further up. With a little bit of help, Berlin's able to get the best of Zelsis. Keep an eye on what members are still back towards Mound. You've got Second who's running amok on the site. Berlin's almost getting the defuse. Gets it to half, but now, oh my gosh! What in the world?
Gak
was
dapat.
that? Oh, but it wasn't enough.
What the hell?
Just when it seemed
Line
like
up
things
dia
were gonna
mereka.
fall the way of FPX. Time expires. And Sentinels get to 11.
Ganti
It was
bro.
all that post plant utility off of the showstopper from Zekin. Yeah, he gathered all that space. Everyone was so scared and just not in reach from the side of FPX that it bought so much time. Saucy has that Fade ultimate. Somehow Zelsis has 2 mollies on site with an alarm bot that's aggressive. There's too much stall, too much delay.
Oh, that's tragic.
That must have been on purpose, sure.
No.
Bentar.
Zelsis has 2 mollies on
Aku
site
pengen
with an
lihat.
alarm bot that's aggressive. There's too much stall, too much delay.
Oh, that's tragic. That was not. Oh.
That must
What
have been
the fuck?
Sentinels 2 rounds away from staying alive in this tournament. Autumn.
That's
getting the best of
tragic.
Zekin.
That's a big, big entry. But now Sen have the info of where the chamber is.
And what they don't know is what's threatening them towards C. They had 3 members up towards Mound.
Utility was used, so Zelsis did hear that. That's why he's slowly re-clearing it, understanding that with the tap of the door at A and the tap of the door at C, there was a rotation off of C Mound. That's why you see this heavy lean of Sentinels going back towards C. The IGLing, the mid-rounding right now is very good. It's a flow state that John has hit.
Remember,
Lama
the real
tapi
run in
enter
this
B-nya.
situation is Autumn's
Enter
ult. And he's still back towards A.
I wonder if FPX decide to commit the Thrash into this round, even with the gun disadvantage. It kind of feels like you have to in a way.
Hail Mary here?
I mean, but like if you don't and you lose the round,
Yeah, then what?
it's match point for Sen. For what?
Right, what are you saving it for, the next year?
Yeah.
Sure. It seems like, given all the noise the Sentinels have shown, given the spams towards B, the smokes that went up, it gave FPX a little bit of time to adjust and to rotate over, but...
Aduh, mak, kasihan banget itu yang miss barusan.
Rough.
I mean, they definitely need more than that. Shot settled for tens. That's 3 on the round for him.
Langsung lihat tanah anjir.
Tries to duck, but Berlin finally cleans him up. Autumn and Berlin, the only 2 that remain. And Autumn is so concerned about a late flank coming in from B, and for good reason. Zels is spamming onto the first. There's really no way in. This is such a heartbreaking way for things to close out for FPX.
Yeah, Life definitely should have had that kill on the Tens. And Tens ended up getting 3 more because of it. Or 2 more, I should say. Just feeling an immense amount of pressure. They're Doug. They're crumbling in it.
NTFX and TNT.
And Life's had a great map, honestly. He was the only saving grace on that other half, on the other side.
Yeah.
But that whiff,
that one hurts.
That's tough. It just kind of feels like there's nothing you can do right now if you're FPX.
Meanwhile, it's still all smiles for the red and black.
And who's going to be the one on top? Tens or Zekin?
Tens.
Potential last round of FPX.
Mati Zekin nih. Zekin mati nih.
To the biggest tournament as the number 2 seed
Siapa yang di atas ya? Zekin atau Tens katanya ya?
Causing so much havoc. There's no crunch coming.
Zekin kan?
Iong's able to get 2. They've lost
Ini
control.
Tens dapat 1.
Thrown asunder, but Tens has his ult. Able to scoop that thing up, and now it's a mad dash towards A. A mad dash towards Autumn with the op. Does the Viper wall go back up? Does John have enough gas? There it is, now coming back.
A lack of communication on FPX. They should have told Autumn that the Omen ultimate was committed to grab the spike, but he was worried the whole time that he was getting flanked.
Autumn not able to find the first shot. You mentioned how good he's been under pressure, and there's all of it building up to him now, and he crumbles underneath it. Tens committing to getting the spike down. The Thrash invested. Iong trying to find anything that he can. They've got a numbers advantage here. Can they convert this into a round win? Can they keep their year alive? Utility over the spike as FPX now pushing their way forward. Zels is holding line, only able to find 1 though. As Tens on the spam, connecting onto the second with John QT over his shoulder. A 2v2. Spike ticking away, time is short. Can John do it on his own? He's gotten it down to 1. The spam, pre-connecting, and it will.
Kan bener aku kan Tens di atas kan?
John QT, Sen City stays alive as they take down FPX.
Kalau Zekin kudu maju mati duluan pasti.
What a comeback from Sen, being down 8-4 on Bind, having a flawless defensive side.
Apa nih replay ya?
Teamwork in effect. And then to win this map the way that they did. What a clutch at the end of things. The Odin, it's too good in the post plant. You hold mouse 1 wherever the spike is planted. And Zekin, 6 first bloods on that last map.
And so the final
Nice try, good game. Nice try, good game.
With a lot of hopes, with a lot of aspirations. A team that seemed to have figured out their struggles while still seemingly so strong on what got them to this point. But they just fall apart in front of Sen City, and there's a lot of reason to be excited. And I want to mention John QT there because, honestly, in my opinion, when Sentinels have looked their best, it's when John is fragging as well. Because you know what you're going to get from Zekin, you know what you're going to get from Tens. I mean, you know all the other pieces are going to deliver.
Yeah.
But when they've been at their
Lawan Genji, lawan Genji.
An immaculate game, but fragging on top of it.
Yeah.
And we saw hints of that today.
And also when he's doing it on Viper and Cypher and these roles that we know him to play. Not the deadlock. Yeah, and it works. It works sometimes. I get it. But his bread and butter are those 2 agents. And the way that they're able to play with the double controller comps, they look so much better.
It seems like today was all about going back to bread and butter.
Yep.
Kau buang lah deadlock tuh anjir. Buang deadlock tuh.
You are under attack.
Ada yang nge-PK. Apaan sih bang? PK. Sakit sih dia mukulnya. Kayak nggak bisa deh aku bunuh dia. Gak usah coba-coba balas tembak dah. Pukulannya masih ada miss, berarti dia nggak sakit. Udahan deh kayak.
To plan, but it was talked through beforehand.
Yeah, course corrected too, right? 일단은 FPX의 조합을 보니까 A숏을 때리는 게 훨씬 더 좋을 거라고 판단했던 이유가 FPX 사이드에서는 좀 그 러쉬 같은 걸 막을 수 있는 스킬이 별로 없었기 때문에 훨씬 좋겠다라고 판단을 했는데 FPX가
진짜?
굉장히 많이 좀 총을 잘 쏘는 날이었기 때문에 힘들기는 했지만 그래도 이런 식으로 좀 대처하자, 좀 A숏 위주로 공격을 풀어나가자라고 얘기를 했다고 합니다. 그러면 또 텐즈 선수 개인적으로는 이번 대회에서 트루 스트레치를 쓰는 몇 안 되는 선수 중 한 명이거든요. 보면은 적이 더 커서 맞추기는 쉽다는 장점은 있지만 그래도 적의 이속도 빨라 보인다는 단점이 있는데 좀 팬들에게 추천하는지 개인적으로 어떻게 생각하는지 물어보도록 할게요. Now you are one of the few players in camps that use true stretch, right? It makes the enemies appear bigger but also faster as well. Would you recommend?
I think it's personal preference. Really depends on the player. I mean, I wear glasses. I'm a little bit blind, so it helps me out.
선수에 따라 다르겠지만 개인적으로 뭐 안경을 쓰면서 시력이 좋지 않기 때문에 이렇게 트루 스트레치를 하면 좀 더 잘 보이고 개인적으로는 도움이 되는 것 같다고 얘기를 하는데요. 마지막으로 이제 다시 젠지를 만나게 됐습니다. 젠지 선수들이 첫 번째 경기 이후에 센티널스가 좀 적응의 시간이 필요한 것 같고 적응이 끝나면 훨씬 더 좋은 모습을 보여줄 것 같다고 얘기를 했는데 또 젠지 선수도 동의하는지 그리고 젠지와의 리매치 이번에는 어떤 경기 예상하는지도 물어보도록 하겠습니다. So it's gonna be a rematch against Genji once more, and the Genji players after last match actually said Sentinels just need more time to adapt and adjust to the new environment. They will surely bounce back. So do you think that's the case for you guys? And also, what's the rematch going to look like?
I mean, it's been a while since we won a series, so hopefully we show a better form than what we showed against Genji the first time. I mean, if history repeats itself, then
승리한 지 얼마 되지 않았는데 확실히 더 젠지를 다음번에 만나면 좋은 폼을 보여줄 것 같고 또 역사는 다시 한번
Eminem been real quiet since this translator drop. Anjir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tens. And also
Maksudnya itu Eminem jadi diem sejak ada translator ini gitu lah. Soalnya bahasa Korea kayak nge-rap anjir. Udahan ya. Siapapun yang mampir, terima Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Tadi niatnya mau live jam 1, main Kalo sampai jam 3, jam 3 main, jam 3 baru nonton. Tapi karena kekenyangan gak jadi nge-live, kekenyangan mager ngapa-ngapain, jadi nungguin live-nya doang. Oke, thank you siapapun yang nonton.
Kiss をして